This is the Wormhole Pro and it's £125. This is the Wormhole Pro and it's £125. And this is the Bishop Wand, a leading brand in the tattoo industry. Oh, and it's $650. So can this compete with this? Let's find out.
Full transparency, Wormhole did send me this machine to do this video. However, they have not seen this video and they do not get any input on this video. All opinions expressed are 100% true. However, they are only just my opinions, so please take that on board. Now, this machine comes in at an entry-level price, so we will call this an entry-level machine. Now, rather than just the usual review, what I wanted to do was actually pit this machine, this Wormhole Pro, up against a high branded machine. And obviously I am a Bishop fan. It's the most expensive machine that I own, so we are pitting it up against the Bishop and we are going to compare how it does. For the most accurate even testing, what I am going to do is I'm going to keep things as level as possible. Now, the Wormhole Pro comes with a adjustable stroke starting at 2.4 going all the way up to 4.2. However, the Bishop Wand is a 3.5 stroke. So, for example, I am setting the Wormhole Pro at 3.6 because it's the closest to 3.5. We are also going to keep the voltages the same. So before we do any tests, let's just get a feel for the machines. So do the machines feel premium? Well, obviously, the Bishop Wand definitely feels premium, as it should. It's a $650 pound machine, all right? The Wormhole Pro, for 120 quid, I think it is, 125. Weight-wise, they feel exactly the same. You know, the Bishop definitely does feel a lot more sturdy, a lot more well-built than the Wormhole Pro. However, the Wormhole Pro definitely does still feel sturdy. Now, putting the batteries on, now there's a definite weight difference in that. The Bishop Wand is definitely lighter with the critical battery power supply than Wormhole Pro's power supply. That is definitely a lot more top heavy. Now, if this was a versus video, the Bishop Wand would take that. It would be 1-0 definitely. However, that's not what we're doing. We are seeing if this can just compete against this. And so far, the weight, honestly, it's not really an issue, and you guys know that I like a light machine. Now let's get on to the performance of the machines. I have two tests, lining and shading, small liner, big liner, small mag, big mag. And we're gonna see how these machines perform at both ends. So first up, we have the Wormhole Pro. This is a 3-liner at 9.5 volts. So we're just gonna pull one line coming straight down. Now, looking at the line, there's definitely some inconsistencies in there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the line again, just a little bit slower. Again, 9.5 volts. So that is a little bit better, but there is definitely still some inconsistencies in the line. And pay attention as well to how the machine is sounding when I am doing these lines. So that is the 3-liner at 9.5 volts with the Wormhole Pro. So now what we are going to do is we're going to use the bigger liner. We're using this one here by Ghost Cartridges. It is a 9-round. So that is the 9-round. It definitely went in better. It definitely went in cleaner. So that tells me that it could definitely be a cartridge issue, but we will find that out when we use the bishop. Now onto the bishop, what I will do is do the lines on the underneath. So again, it is the bishop wand at 9.5 volts using the exact same 3-liner. So pulling that one fast, and then we'll pull one again just a little bit slower. So the 3-liner on this machine, the cartridge definitely sounded better in this machine. It also put in the lines easier on that single first pass, and it does have a cleaner, more consistent line on that slower pass on that second line. So again, let's go on to the 9-round single pass line. So now if I'm looking at the two lines side by side, they are definitely pretty much identical. Now because this was the first line that I did pull, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a line again with the Wormhole Pro, single pass, and I'm going to see if it comes out the same now I've warmed up a little bit. So compared to the first line that I did pull, it is a little bit better, but compared against the bishop line, it's still not there. So now we'll go on to the shading portion. I'm going to be using a 9 curved mag bug pen, and I'm going to be rocking it at 3.6 on the stroke and 8.7 volts. Also, I'm going to be using just black so you can see the shade just a little bit better. Alright, so for the most part with the 9 curved mag bug pen, that has come out pretty damn smooth, and to be honest, it felt effortless. But now we are going to try the 49, I think this is, and we're going to see how this pushes a bigger mag. I don't even think this is going to fit in my cup. So again, this is still the same volts, same everything. I'm not up the volts because it's a bigger mag, anything like that. So again, for the most part, pretty damn smooth, and that is a 49 mag, still at 8.7 volts. The machine did not struggle to push that 49 mag at all. Next up is Bishop, again 8.7 volts, 9 curved mag. So as we expected, the Bishop wand kills it at shading. However, is there a big difference using the 9 curved mag of the Bishop with the 9 curved mag of the Wormhole Pro? Not really, no. Shading definitely comes down to technique, and I haven't counted, the amount of passes I'm doing for each. I'm just trying to get a good amount of passes on there. But the difference between them is, it's very negligible. There's nothing too much. The Bishop is a little bit more saturated. However, could that be from the amount of passes? Certainly. But the quality of which the pigment is going in is the same for both, to be honest. It's as effortless on the Bishop wand as it is on the Wormhole Pro. But now back onto the 49 mag. And there's the 49 mag. Again, it is so hard to judge which one's actually better. They look almost identical in smoothness, in saturation. It is really, really hard to tell which one's which. If you hadn't seen me put these all in and I said which one's Wormhole Pro and which one is Bishop Wand, I do not think you'd be able to tell. So what have we learned? Well, the Wormhole Pro is a pass behind the Bishop Wand. What I mean by that is I pulled that first line with the Wormhole Pro and it needed a second pass for that line to be solid. Whereas the Bishop Wand, it is pretty much a single pass. Now what I want you to remember though is I am on fake skin, and that is completely different to how real skin responds to being tattooed and how the machine may respond on real skin. Now I can say that I have used this Wormhole Pro on real skin and it did absolutely fine. But however, when it comes to shading, both machines are incredible. They are really, really good at shading, and I would easily recommend the Wormhole Pro if you wanted a shading machine. Do remember though that I kept the Wormhole Pro at 3.6 because it was the closest to 3.5 of the Bishop Wand, and I wanted to create the most accurate test. Now the Wormhole Pro does have the multiple stroke choice, so what I did is knock up that stroke to 4.2, went back in and did another line with the Wormhole Pro, and this is the result. So as you can see, this is the first line that I started with, and everything to the right was done at 3.6, but the two lines to the left are done at 4.2, and you can see that those lines are vastly superior, and I dare say that those lines are better than the Bishop Wand. Now obviously they are going to be better because it is a bigger stroke length. A 4.2 to a 3.5 is a massive difference. So for a $125 in that region machine, I am well impressed with what this machine can do for a entry-level price and an entry-level machine. I would happily give this machine to my apprentice and know that he would be able to, you know, do the things that he needs to do by combining those different strokes. But what about longevity between the two? For $125, pounds, whatever, would this machine last as long as what my Bishop will? It's hard to say. Obviously, I haven't had the Wormhole Pro as long as what I've had my Bishop. I've had my Bishop now for, what, 5 years maybe, and it's still a solid workhorse. I've had the Wormhole Pro, I've messed around with the Wormhole Pro for about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. But what I can say is that the build quality of the Wormhole Pro feels like it would last. Now obviously there is the internals of the motor. Just because something looks like it's built to last doesn't mean, you know, the inside components aren't cheaper components and they, you know, won't break. But just off of face value, you know, it's 125 quid. Like, even if it did break and you love this machine that much, it's pretty much disposable income within the tattoo industry. You could just buy another. I mean, yes, if they did keep breaking, eventually you are going to hit the price of what it would have cost for a Bishop Wand. But you know, that's the risk you take. With a more expensive brand and leading brand, you do have more peace of mind that your machine is put together with the best components. But for what it is on surface, the Wormhole Pro seriously is pretty good, man. Like, I could put this in any apprentice's hands and they would be absolutely fine with it. I could put this in a pro's hands and they would be absolutely fine with it, providing that they use the machine as intended by adjusting those strokes. So again, it just comes down to you as the artist, what you can do with this machine. You've seen that a cheap machine can do the things that you need it to do. You've seen that an expensive machine can do the things that you need it to do. It always comes down to you, your hand, what you prefer. I do think that cheap tattoo machines do get a bad rap, but you know, I think that 125 isn't cheap. That is entry level, right? Cheap machines or Amazon machines at like 30 quid or 8 quid, right? Those machines are definitely gonna break. 125 quid, entry level machine, pretty good, shades well, lines good. What more could you want, to be honest? So conclusion to the video, can a cheap tattoo machine keep up with a leading brand? Proof is in the pudding. Definitely. I think the Wormhole Pro did extremely well at the side of the Bishop. You think about the price tag between the Wormhole Pro and what the Bishop is. Does that price tag represent the difference in the machines and how they perform? Absolutely not, no. So if you are looking for an entry-level machine or even a backup machine, the Wormhole Pro may be for you. So again, link in the description if you want to get hold of one. But before I go, if you've not seen it already, check out this video here. It is a pretty good video on how to shade. Peace out.